the new re-education of Carl, as you know. He got a GCSE.
It's the last one, isn't it?
In history. It was the last heavy sort of one, yeah.
No.
It's Winston Churchill. Well, yeah, because we're going on to more sort of metaphorical and metaphysical sort of pursuits, aren't we?
Not that book.
Yeah, that's the Aesop's
Can't read
Fables.
that in a week.
You don't have to read it.
Right,
Just choose the ones about the foxes eating penguins. You'll like that. Steve, over to you.
Thanks very much. I wonder if I don't think we've made much progress yet on sending Carl into sort of into the air with the.
No, this has gone a bit ballistic.
I've gone off the idea.
Oh no, shut
No,
up.
don't. You haven't gone off yet.
We've inflamed the imagination of the capital. There's people offering left, right, and centre, and I think it's a good idea. But I think we should you know, make a day of it. I think we should send you up in some balloons, right? Maybe you know.
Well, hang on. Before we carry on, let's explain what happened because people might not have listened last week.
I don't believe that.
There are one or two, Rick.
I don't believe that.
People who are
Name
ill,
them.
maybe out of the country.
Okay.
Yeah, so last week we discovered, was it that 623, is it 6,000?
No, I read that 6,000 balloons filled with helium can lift a bloke off the floor.
I think that's too many. I think we could do it for less, certainly.
Well, anyway, listen, there are various organisations which actually exist already that can provide this kind of entertainment, this kind of fun. I mean, I didn't realise there was a whole kind of market for this already, but apparently there is.
Nor did I, no.
Incredible. Anyway, so we're going to try and track one of them down. We're going to see if they can organise it so that you, Carl, can float into the air. We need to get you, is it at least 11 feet up?
Yeah, if it's
And
just
I think certainly higher. I mean, I can't remember what the record is, but it's quite a long way.
11,000.
11,000 feet.
Yeah, but I think they're all official. I want to do it with like those little balloons you get for £1 at the zoo or
I don't
something.
think that can be right, health and safety wise. I don't think that can be healthy.
I think if we get him to sign something, which I will,
Okay.
I think we'll cover ourselves.
But yeah, certainly we're thinking of maybe making it a bit like, is it Tea in the Park?
Yeah.
Capital FM,
Yeah, the big
We
event.
could get sort of Steps, at least H from Steps can come down and
Yeah.
host the event.
I mean, I don't mind comparing it. Steve's gonna do. Steve's learning to sort of like scratch and mix and beat match, and I mean, you're getting pretty.
I'm making a lot of progress, yeah.
You are going to be a turntablist.
Yeah.
Steve never learnt an instrument, which he regrets. You know, and you know, he's a modern lad, and he's using a turntable as his instrument.
I just got 2 turntables and a microphone, and so far, I mean, seriously, I'm cutting out big style. No, don't laugh, because it is mental, the kind of stuff I'm coming out with. And I'm scratching, I've got the beats, you know, matching.
Can you imagine that?
Shut up! It's like
No, if
look at the Chemical Brothers, for goodness sake. If you're talking about freaks, look at those things. Man alive!
At least you cut your hair at Gavin.
You know that
whatever it's called.
they used to kind of at least faintly appear in their videos. So this
Yeah.
one is just some shots of like what you see from outside a train. To them, that is more glamorous and exciting, apparently, than
Yeah.
seeing the lads themselves in the video.
Who do you think's cooler to look at, Steve or the Chemical Brothers?
Steve.
Definitely, yes, you're absolutely right, Carl, and that's the first sensible thing you've said for a
If
long
I was
time.
to work with Steve on some music,
Yeah.
if I had the choice, I think Steve would look better on a album cover.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you change him at all? What would you do with his image?
I'd put him in the distance, so
I can't believe this is.
No, just so you don't look as tall, that's doing you a favour.
You know, I was on the. This is true. I was on the tube, right, coming in to meet Gervais the other day, and I was wearing a suit, and my mobile phone slipped out of my pocket, and it landed on the seat, and I didn't realise this. And as I was about to get off, some bloke who was sat there like an old guy, he picked up the phone. He went, "Oi, Lanky, you dropped your mobile phone." And I was like, "Well, I thank you for pointing out I dropped my phone, but did you have to do the Lanky?"
But you knew what he meant. I bet you turned round straight away. It worked.
Knew he meant,
Yes,
Steve.
but-
He's done you again.
But I was the only person stood up. It was a fairly empty train.
Was there any other lanky people there?
No.
Well then.
No, but my point was there was no one else at all. It was about to exit the train.
Okay, so he didn't need lanky.
He could have gone, "Excuse me, sir," or "Oi, you," anything, but "Oi, Lanky."
I know.
It's that thing, though, isn't it? That's what I'm talking about. You say the thing that you don't want to say. It's like me with Ken Dodd and Will.
I think he wanted to say this.
Oh, well.
I think he took pleasure in it.
I think he went, "That bloke's lanky. I shouldn't say that." Yeah, I should. Oi, lanky.
What's
You
he
dropped
gonna
your
do?
phone. Yeah. Do you want your phone back or not?
But this balloon thing, anyway, it's got a bit out of hand.
Why is it out of hand? What are you
No,
worried
it's
about?
funny. I just want to. I want to sort of like tie them all to the back of your belt. So as you go up there, you sort of tip forward slightly, so you're going up slightly upside down.
We could paint some advertising on your bald head.
And yeah, oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll do that, Lanky.
That'd be great.
Here he comes.
No, I mean, last week it was just a bit of fun about going like just lifting my feet off the ground.
No.
And that's a big difference to what it's got now.
No, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll do 100 feet in the air, and I'll hold on to the rope.
But we'll do it at Wembley Arena, and we'll sell tickets. But it'll be for charity, Carl.
It'll be for charity.
No, we'll have lots of underprivileged kids coming along to see it,
It's
you
just got out
know.
of hand. It's like, you know, I like karaoke, but I wouldn't want to go on Stars in the Rise.
Sure.
And it's got out of hand. That's how it's sort of it's grown too big. I don't.
Who would
like
you
it.
do if you were on Stars in the Rise?
I'd do that.
Moby?
No, that Jack the Knife song. I love
Jack the Knife.
Old Mac Heath. That one, yeah?
Yeah.
Is Mac the Knife?
that. That's what I do.
But which
He'd do a hip-hop version.
but which of the many singers would you impersonate? You can't. It's not the song, is it? It's the singer.
You could do, Jimmy Somerville, I think. Quite well.
Yeah, Somerville you'd be good at.
Moby. Did Morph bring out a
I
single?
don't think Morph did.
Didn't he?
No, I'm not sure. I
Sure,
don't
didn't he have a theme tune? Did Morph? Phone in if you think Morph.
Morph didn't speak, Rick. Let
Didn't
him
he?
sing.
Morph hardly had any features.
True.
Right.
They are.
The classic Super NES game.
Express 2 featuring David Byrne, Lazy, XFM 104.9, Quarter to 2, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve's Got the Sun.
Yes, I'm
He's
just
we're just going to be doing White Van Carl, where we ask Carl the questions the Sun asked some other bloke.
That's right.
Because we think Carl's got more to say than anyone on anything. Carl only tells the truth, by the way. Just remember that, listeners. Off you go.
Yes, well, today's White Van Man in the Sun is John Slade. He owns his own door maintenance company. His answers are very informative, I have to say. But Carl, what do you make of the Channel 4 producer, aged 30, who duped to school into believing he was a teenager for a documentary? Are you familiar with this story?
No, go on.
Well, basically a 30-year-old guy kind of fooled the school into thinking he was a pupil for a secret documentary. The school's outraged. Do you think that that's, you know, for you, you know, should anything go when it comes to making TV?
I think I've said to you before. There's loads of kids at my school. I remember being in the first year, and kids who what year do schools go up to? I was in the first year. What is it?
11.
5?
Oh, sorry, first year of infants and juniors.
No, secondary school.
11.
Right. Year 11. Kids
No.
have beards and
No,
stuff.
not year 11. They're 11 when they first go to secondary school.
Right. Well, I'm 11. The kids at the older
Well,
end.
there's a
Well, it
fifth form,
depends.
and then
You
there's a
can leave
sixth
when
form,
you
isn't
can
there?
leave when you're 16, I think, can't you now?
Right. Well, kids who were 16
Yeah.
looked old. They did have beards. I remember going there and thinking some of them were teachers.
I think he's answered that. Next one. What's the next one?
Tattoos and everything. They're kids in the earlier years even.
What do you make of the fact that Mariah Carey's £38 million payoff has cost EMI staff their jobs, and we're talking 1,800 EMI staff who have lost their
What do
jobs?
you think of that?
Yeah. I mean,
Is that silly money, Mariah Carey, on 38 million?
she doesn't need that much.
She doesn't need that much. She
But-
has to dress nice, though.
It's not her fault. I'd say it's bad business.
Okay.
Because EMI, did you say?
Yes.
Right. They've got rid of them staff.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's left. Who's going to do the work?
Do you think Mariah should come back and do some temping?
Well, they should have got a loan and paid her.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Vicious circle, that.
Right.
Have you done a business degree, have you?
Commerce.
You did commerce. Where did you do that? What did you do with that?
At school, I'd learned how to fill out a cheque, pay a bill, and I think I had a trip round Kellogg's.
Did you get an O level or GCSE?
We know he didn't.
You know, I did.
But was there a commerce exam, or was it just a division of
Can't
maths?
remember.
What did he fill out a
Was it a
check?
subset of
It was
maths?
an option. It was like, if you want to do it, you can.
What was it? Fill out a check.
Fill out
pay a bill,
cheque,
pay a bill.
have a visit round
and nip round
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's, and I saw my sister's boyfriend there at the time. He sorted me out with some variety packs.
Really? What was in them?
You know, Rice Krispies and
Good stuff.
Cocoa Pops?
Space Dust or whatever it is.
Space Nuts.
So, sorry, that wasn't Ken Dodd, though. That was someone else. That was an aunt.
That was it, yeah. That wasn't Special K. Oh
What
dear.
about this then? Home Secretary David Blunkett admits that muggers rule some streets.
Weird this, because when I was out with you,
I can't believe it's going to be weird, whatever you say,
no,
Carl. Go on.
when we were in that pub that night and we got talking about muggers and that, the tip is what I tend to do, because I nearly got mugged once. Act
You what? You nearly got mugged once.
I nearly got mugged.
Yeah.
But I tried this technique of acting a bit mental.
Right, and how did you act mental?
Well, this guy wanted me trainers. And I was in Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester. It was quite late one night. And he come up and said, I want them trainers. I said, you want them? I said, I worked hard for these. He said, how dare you come to me asking? And I got a bit livid. And he looked at me like, oh my God, he's got a right one here. And he left me.
Were you acting mental, or were you just mental?
No, I put it on a bit.
Were you not petrified then?
Well, you don't think about it, do you, when you're sort of in the eyes of danger?
Well, not you. Clearly, you're a brave man. So what did you say?
I just went a bit mad. I just kind of, because he said he wanted the trainers and they were dear ones at the time. And I just, no, you're not having these. So I've crafted you. I said I wanted these trainers.
Yeah.
And went on to tell him how I work at printers and I don't enjoy it, and I put in all these hours and that, and I have to cycle home for about 5 miles. And
Did he give you his trainers?
Yeah.
Did he have a knife?
I just left. No, it didn't get that violent.
Well, that's very brave of you, Carl.
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
good advice, though. Just act mental.
See, what's actually tried it the other night.
Well, I've worked hard for these diamonds. Yeah. It's not easy being the daughter of Judy Garland. You don't know what it's like.
Finally, apparently, there was a crook that got a job, a security job at Heathrow. Right, he was a crook and he got a job at Heathrow. As robbers steal another £2 million. Apparently security down there is lax.
Yeah.
Is that concern for you?
Is this another
Yeah.
2 million?
Yeah.
Why is all this money at the airport?
It's those sandwich shops. You know they're really expensive, the sandwiches in, like, when you're on a plane. They're like £2.50 for tuna, which is ludicrous.
Yeah.
That's basically the reason.
What do you mean, why is all this money at airports?
What is it doing there? Why is
Have a
it
go, have a go. No, have a go answering this yourself. Why is anything at an airport?
It's going somewhere.
Or coming in from somewhere?
Yeah, but money you can sort it out through the bank, like phone banks and that.
Have you done commerce? You know a lot about paying bills and writing out checks. Oh, yeah.
Tell us about Kellogg's.
What was it like? What was in the factory? Was it just like squashing bits of corn and...
Pretty boring, really. Just loads of conveyor belts,
Yeah.
boxes of cornflakes everywhere. Just what you imagine.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
is
know
it
what
more,
we
this is
learn
where
from
you
it.
might be working? This is where you're likely to work if you
Possibly.
leave
There was
school.
2 trips. There was that and the trip to Manchester Evening News.
Okay.
And I left that early because I had a job in Cordon Bleu.
In Kellogg's.
Cordon Bleu, what's that?
It's like a supermarket.
Yeah?
And I had to leave the trip early, and the teacher went mad saying they thought I'd got lost on the, in the building and stuff.
What, you
It
didn't
caused
tell
a right
anyone?
uproar. No, because it was like day 2 of working in this supermarket, and I couldn't be late. I thought by the time I explain where I've got to go and everything, I'll be even later.
Sure.
So I just left, and then apparently they were searching the building and everything for me.
How old
I'd
were
been
you?
Stuck in a printer. Don't know.
Stuck in a printer!
I don't know.
What was the printer's name?
You worked at a supermarket called Cordon Bleu.
Cordon Bleu!
Brilliant.
That's great, isn't it?
It's rubbish.
Oh.
Got sacked.
You had to
What did you get sacked for?
Messing about in a back in the car park round the back.
Yeah.
Right, there was a grid, and all the concrete had gone funny. So when it rained, you got like a big lake,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I got in. Do you know those big metal trolleys you get to like put all the food in whilst?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got in one of them, and pushed myself out into this lake.
Of cement.
No,
water.
full
Oh, it
of
was
water
water,
'cause it'd been
right,
raining.
right.
And I got stuck in the middle, right? And the boss was like, "Where's Carl? He's meant to be doing, facing up the beans." And I was like,
And you were stranded in a lake.
So someone said, "Oh, I saw him messing about out the back." He came out and saw me stuck in the middle of this lake in a trolley, and he said, "Get back in." I said,
Did you say, no, I'm filming sharks?
I said, "It's too deep. I can't get out. You'll have to pass me something." And he said, "I'm not passing you nothing." He said, "You can get out of there and walk through it." I said, "I'm not. I've got my trainers on, probably the same ones."
Yeah, you've risked
actually.
your life for them.
Yeah. I said, "I'm not getting these wet." I said, he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to wait for the water to go down the grid." He said, "The grid's blocked. Now get out or you're sacked." I said, "Well, I'm not getting out." He said, "Right, you're sacked."
So you were sacked? How long did you have to wait for the water to go down the
In the
grid?
end, I did get bored, and I sort of did a bit of a leap and a jump and got 1 foot wet.
How long were you waiting?
In about half an hour.
Just think of it. Just think. I mean, How did he get himself into that situation? That's fantastic. Should we play a record?
Oh, definitely. That's
Your
a
choice.
joy. Oh, you're an absolute pleasure. More White Van Man next time on the show. Electric Soft Parade. I keep trying to get the album for free from you, Carl. You've not sorted me out yet. I have to rely on other people to give me different copies
No,
of
I
the
did
different
try.
tracks.
I'll keep trying.
Please do. This is one called There's a Silence, Electric Soft Parade.
縄張りバトルは盛んに行われています4対4のチームに分かれて地面が
Gomez and Shot on XFM 101.9. Sorry, I was going to tell Steve something. Talk amongst yourselves. When you were out there, Johnny Mango phoned up and said to Carl, "Come on, when are we going to do this thing?" And Carl got all nervous. Right, and he went, "You don't want to do it, do you?" He said, "Well, it's going to get out of hand. I just wanted to go as high as a tree." And he went, "Well, you can. I'll hold you down with a rope." He went, "Yeah," but he said, "But when the crowd are there and they're all screaming higher, higher, I'll feel the pressure and have to go along with it." What crowd? What crowd is this? Higher! No, higher!
We don't live in like a medieval era. It's not going to be dancing bears and tumbling midgets. Well, I don't know. That's an idea.
Hold on. If there's anyone got any of those,
Tumbling midgets would be amazing.
yeah.
Definitely.
Less balloons, cheaper to do.
Oh, you're going
No,
up.
you're
Don't
going
worry
up with
about
them.
that.
No, you're going up with them. Not just
With a
no.
midget under either arm. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, it's time for your the re-education of Carl Pilkington. This week, Carl was studying the life and times of Winston Churchill. What did you make of it, Carl? What did Churchill do for
Right,
you?
well, last week I made a bit of an error with Hitler.
Yeah, you
Go on,
just
what?
roll
To
with it.
remember too much, and it was way too much for me.
Sure.
So what I've done this week, sort of flicked through, got a few of the basic facts.
Yeah.
And what I've learned, right, bit weird the way all these people have something in common, that they're all a bit weird when they're younger.
Okay.
They've
Go
got
on.
some sort of illness.
Go on.
Well, you know, Rasputin, he wasn't well as a kid.
Yep.
Che Guevara,
Oh, this is Rasputin, the mad monk, wasn't well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Che Guevara,
Asthma.
asthma, really bad asthma.
Mm.
Hitler, he was
Only
a
one ball.
bit mental.
Yeah.
His mother.
He was
got
what? A
ya.
bit mental. That could be libelous.
Yeah.
And who've we done? And Churchill,
Yeah.
very
you got lost
weak,
there.
very weak child.
Was he?
He only spoke to his dad 4 times in his whole lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, didn't get on with his dad.
Right.
And I think one of the times when his dad spoke to him, he was having a go, saying he didn't do as well in the army as he wanted him to.
Right.
So that's pretty sad bit I picked
Yeah,
up of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So that spurred him on anyway.
yeah, I'm not going in all the ins and outs. Very important bloke.
Okay.
No, seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
your dad bought the tapes, didn't he?
Yes.
And I can understand why. Because he did change a lot for us. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be sat here now talking like this.
Why?
We could have been German.
Yep.
He didn't let that happen.
No.
Everyone had a go at him, right? When I think it was Chamberlain who was in power,
Yeah.
and he was like saying, "Don't be trusting that Hitler,"
Yeah.
you know. And everyone was like, "Look, stop causing trouble." Chamberlain sorted it out, you know. He sorted out a peace agreement,
Yeah.
and he was like, "No, I don't trust him." And everyone's like, "Oh, you know, you're just causing trouble." You know, everyone else is happy. And it turned out that Hitler did actually do the dirty,
Yeah.
and try and come over.
I remember didn't he do something? He started a war. Or
There was a
something,
conflict of some kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started a problem, and everyone went, "Hang on a minute, that Churchill knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him back in charge."
Sure.
And they got him in, and Hitler was scared of him because he knew that he wasn't going to be having any lies or anything. He couldn't try it on with Churchill.
Yeah.
And,
Especially when he was a little bit pissed up and coked and with a
Who
big
was?
cigar. Churchill.
He wasn't he wasn't doing that.
I think a lot were during the war, in the war cabinet. I think they had to have things to keep him awake all night and stuff. And he certainly liked a brandy.
Rick, Winston Churchill was coked up, was he? I mean, sorry, this is something I wasn't aware of.
If there are any historians listening, if I'm wrong, I'm
Was that in
very
the
sorry.
World at War?
No, I don't
Winston
think
Churchill
so.
was
Any historians or experts on war? Did Churchill and not some of the other people during I think the First and Second World War take a little bit of cocaine?
So when it said that Hitler,
Doctors certainly used to.
Hitler liked cakes, would they be like the funny sort of cakes?
No, he probably did like a little bit of Madeira cake.
Right.
Yeah, there's probably nothing like that. Sorry, carry on.
So anyway,
He beat the Bosch.
yeah, did all
Oh,
that.
steady on, his personal life's nothing to do with it.
And the most amazing bit is, right, he wasn't fit, and he had a couple of
Well,
strokes.
he's a good-looking bloke in many ways.
Well, he had a couple of strokes, but he had a stroke on, say...
We've had that, he beat the boss, he
we
likes to
sort
have
of
a couple of
beat the boss,
strokes.
yeah.
Let's not get into innuendo, Carl, it's stupid.
Right, say he had like a stroke on a Tuesday. He was up and fighting again on a Wednesday.
Really?
He was a strong bloke.
Yeah.
And then he died at about the age of 80.